Do you want a tiny lens that is wide enough for all your traveling needs? Well, how about one of the smallest E-mount lenses that actually exists on the E-mount APS-C camera infrastructure? Well, keep watching and find out exactly what lens I'm talking about. Hi guys, and welcome to another video of Tech and Pics. My name is Carl and I hope you guys are having a great day. Please don't forget to subscribe below in case you haven't already. It helps support my YouTube channel. And today I am reviewing a small lens. In fact, it's one of the smallest lenses. This lens has many things that are positives and many things that are negatives. First, let's start out with the positives. First main positive thing, it is really small, which is ideal to just slip in your pocket, forget about it, or put it in your camera bag, or put it in, I don't know, a side pocket, and just take it with you on your travels, or you can keep it clicked onto the camera. Either way, it is really small. The focusing on this lens is really ultra fast, which is typical for your native Sony lenses, because usually the Sony lenses have very fast focus. This is one of those lenses and it makes no exceptions, and it takes full advantage of the Sony A6000's amazing focusing performance. As with typical Sony lenses, it also has really good contrast once you run it through the mill in Lightroom. And yeah, did I mention it's small? Yeah, well, the thing is, if it seems that there is not too many positives, well, that's because there isn't. While it's really compact and really well put together and quick focusing, that's about it. That's about all it has going for it. And, well, the negatives are on par, or they slightly outweigh the positives. So regarding the negatives, we can find things like soft corner sharpness, blandish colors, blandish colors, straight out of the camera, overall mediocre image quality. I mean, it's sort of sharpish from 5.6, but that is a sweet spot of pretty much every single lens. Almost every single lens. Usually it's a sweet spot. I mean, if we compare it to the kit lens, which is known for its bland corner edge sharpness, you can actually see that the kit lens is actually sharper in the corners than the SEL 60mm 2.8. So here is the perfect example with the 16mm compared to the kit lens. Now I took these pictures one after the other, so of course the cars and everything, a lot of the people in this picture are not the same, but the buildings and everything is, and I just want to show you the example between the two lenses. Now the picture on the left is the 16mm and the picture on the right will be the kit lens, as it says down here in the description. First things first, let us zoom into the actual center of the frame. And you really can't tell much from this picture, although the first thing that you can notice is that in the very center here, you can read, looks like the text is slightly sharper here on the 16mm. And now these are both shot the same at 16mm, ISO 100 at 3.5, because the kit lens it has a minimum of 3.5, so they're both shot at 3.5. And you can see, for example, here in the middle sharpness of the 16mm is definitely sharper. You can see the details here, for example, are much softer with respect to the 16mm here. The 60mm has much sharper details here in the middle. You can see very clearly from this. Details are much softer in the kit lens, much sharper here. But when you zoom out, for example, and you go into the corners, this is what I don't understand, because you can see clearly here that the kit lens on the right in the corners is much sharper. It's much sharper. Look at that. You can make out this white stripe right down here. You can actually make that on the right. On the left, you don't even see it. It is so soft you don't see it. Also the same thing with the cars here. You can't even make out anything on the car. It's completely blurry on the left here, which is the 16mm. And you can clearly see by the lines in this building that the lines on the kit lens are much sharper. Look at that. And on the 16mm, it's mush. And 3.5 is a very acceptable, actually, focal length. Now the one thing to keep in mind, as you can clearly see, is that the kit lens has a very, now I'm in the raw directly, the kit lens has a very heavy distortion. This has not been corrected, and as you can see, even though I haven't corrected also the 16mm, the 16mm is not distorted, while the kit lens has a distortion here on, you can clearly see it. Here the line is straight and here the line curves. but you can still fix this with the lens correction in Lightroom. That's not the point. So it depends on what you want. If you want a lens that is sharp in the middle but blurry on the sides, then you can easily get the 16mm 2.8, as you can clearly see right here. Regarding the video, well, you get your standard run-of-the-mill video. I mean, it's real standard. The focusing, on the other hand, works really good and does not fluctuate back and forth, especially during video mode, and the manual focus is actually buttery smooth in operation. So if you want to manually focus on something, it has no problem of working effortlessly. It really is. That's the thing with native Sony lenses. They put time and effort into the lenses, and the manual focusing is actually fantastic and perfect for video. To see what video quality you can expect, here is a short B-roll that I put together, and I will see you right after the video. As you can see, regarding the video, it's actually quite good once the video files are color corrected, but the lack of OSS, so the in-lens stabilization, which the kit lens has, it's a little bit hard to justify this for video usage, but you can still use it. But in this case, you'd be happier with the kit lens simply for the zoom factor, the OSS, which has which is basically the optical steady stabilization, or whatever the OSS stands for, and also the fact that the kit lens would be your best choice for video because of the sharpness. It is much sharper during video, and I actually saw the difference. All in all, I would not use this lens for professional work, but it is perfect for traveling, and once it's put through the mill with Lightroom, it can get some pretty decent results with the signature contrast Sony lenses are known to have. This is actually one thing that I like a lot about Sony native lenses, is that there's something in the coatings that they have. I noticed this with the kit lens, with the 16mm, also with the 20mm, and on other kit lenses, even from A-mount systems, that they have very heavy like contrast. Like the contrast is very predominant. It's very dominant in the pictures, especially when working through Lightroom. I don't know what they do to cause this, but it actually is like that. Now, if you think that this lens is for you because of its compact size and fast focusing, then by all means click on the link in the description below and you can get it on Amazon. And by clicking on the link below to get it through Amazon, you actually help support my channel. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that you can actually make it wider with two high-quality glass adapters. One is a wide angle and the other one is a fisheye adapter. The good news is that compared to the Samyang 12mm f2, it actually becomes an autofocus option. These adapters can also be used with the SEL 20mm 2.8, which is the smallest pancake lens for the Sony APS-C system, but it has a much higher image quality, of course at a much higher price. So if you want a lens that is small, lightweight, ridiculously lightweight, fast focusing, and decent image sharpness and image quality, by all means get this lens. If you are a professional photographer that uses the Sony A6000 for your backup lenses, whether it be for weddings or architecture or just street photography, maybe street photography if you really are persistent and you want a very cheap option, this lens is really cheap, and you can always find it on the same price, if not much cheaper than the actual kit lens in the used lens circuits. So really it is fantastically priced. So I bought mine at about 100 euros, which is roughly, I think, about almost 120 US dollars, which for this lens is actually not a bad price. It is a really cheap alternative. Now, if you want to go for something that actually is much higher quality, you can always get the Sigma 19mm 2.8 E-lens mount. Of course, there's only one type of lens. There is an older version and the newer version. They're both really good lenses, and they actually are really sharp lenses from edge to edge. And the 19mm, you can't go wrong. It is actually as cheap. It's actually cheaper, brand new, than the Sony 16mm brand new. So that's actually something to take into consideration. It is slightly longer, but just really by like an inch, not even, like maybe an inch, maximum an inch and a half, which honestly is not even that much. It weighs almost nothing. It's a great lens. Guys, that is it for this video. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I am on fire and I really love all of your comments. I answer all of your comments and I really love to hear from you. Of course, don't forget to visit my social media links in the description below, and all the information is in the description below. Guys, I really do hope you have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.